What's up, people? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and we've just lost 3-2 to Stoke City at the Britannia Stadium. Honestly, I don't know where to start with this one. The result is appalling, considering that we were going on yet another fairly decent run of form. To end it with a poor result against this Stoke side, it's abysmal, and the performance, especially in that first half, was disgraceful from Arsenal this afternoon. It's just not good enough. What happened? The way we capitulated against Stoke. So many things went wrong today, yet again, and although we clawed back in that second half, scored 2 goals, it wasn't enough. We gave ourselves too much of a mountain to climb, and we were never going to get back into this game after half-time. That was just a reality, unfortunately. But going into this game, we started with Hector Bellerin at right back. The defence was reshuffled, and not playing this game with Koscielny. I understand that he's got maybe a minor injury or something, but he was included on the bench. So if he's on the bench, then surely he could have featured from the start of the game. Throwing Bellerin in a right back against Stoke is not the game to be doing it in. Bellerin is a very short guy. He does some technical stuff very well, but he was massively exposed throughout the course of the game, and he couldn't handle it. He's not adapted to this kind of physicality in the league yet. He needs to be dropped into an easier game, maybe come off the bench in the 70th minute or something, not starting against Stoke City away from home in what is arguably one of our most difficult fixtures of the season. It wasn't right doing that. And then we ended the game playing with Flamini at right back, which was equally as embarrassing. To think that we haven't got adequate cover in that area. And you know what, this all comes down to summer. I absolutely hate to continue to bring up transfers, but that's what, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. We didn't replace Vermaelen, we didn't replace Jenkinson, and now we're having to play Bellerin at right back, a 19-year-old who shouldn't be, he shouldn't have to be put in that situation where he's put under an immense amount of pressure, and then we're having to end games with Mathieu Flamini at right back, who in my opinion should not be anywhere near our starting 11 retrospect of where he plays across the pitch. So that's just not good enough. For our standards, that is not good enough. I mean, what is our standards now? Maybe we have to lower our expectation levels a bit. I mean, I know we've won the FA Cup and everything, but considering we haven't strengthened in the right areas in summer, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what Arsenal is going to turn up, and this game just absolutely personified that to the maximum. It was shocking, absolutely shocking. That first half, and the frailties in our defence were just completely found out within a minute of the game. That's how bad it was. Couldn't even last a minute without Laurent Koscielny. Embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. The cross comes in, I can't quite remember who it was that crossed the ball in on the right hand side of the pitch, but it came in. Peter Crouch, of all people, totally found out Hector Bellerin. I think it's Bellerin's mistake, but again, I don't want to lay into the guy. He shouldn't have to be in that situation where there's all this pressure on him. He was found out today. He was one of the players that was guilty of exposing us in the defensive department. But it's not his fault. He shouldn't be in that scenario. But anyway, we went 1-0 down through Peter Crouch. It was a really scrappy, typical goal that you'd associate with Stoke City. But we were found out within a minute. And getting back into the game after that minute mark, after that goal, was always going to be incredibly difficult away from home against a very resilient Stoke side. And when they've got players like Jonathan Walters, Ryan Shawcross, Peter Crouch, big physical bodies within their team, and we've got players like Santi Cazorla that are getting muscled off the ball so easily, it was always going to be really difficult to get back into the game, and that was shown throughout the course of that first half. And we didn't put any impetus into the game. We were awful. We were shocking defensively. Mertesacker had yet again another poor performance, and he looks lost without Koscielny alongside him. And I think Chambers was actually one of the better players in our defence today. Gibbs was slightly off the ball as well today. I mean, there was a time in the second half towards the end where he could have put the ball in, maybe he could have made it 3-3 for us, but he just put it out, which was, you wouldn't expect that from him. And you know, that just really showed our performance today. There were moments in the game, just lapses of concentration, Cazorla putting the ball out for a throw-in, things like that. The odd loose pass, well, not even the odd loose pass. We were giving away the ball to Stoke so many times throughout the game. It was appalling, absolutely diabolical. Not the football that you would expect from a club of our stature, from the standards that we should be setting ourselves, which we're not at the moment. We haven't got any standards because we are a joke of a club at this moment in time, because we cannot build any consistency. 3 wins in a row, 3 clean sheets, and we concede 3 to a side that has got players like Phil Bardsley and Ryan Shawcross and Jonathan Walters within their side. Embarrassing, and it just shows how important Koscielny is to our team at the moment. But yeah, like I was saying about Callum Chambers, I thought he was probably one of the more decent players in the game today, and he was sent off. And whilst I'm on the subject of the referee as well, the sending off for Callum Chambers was abysmal, absolutely abysmal. The foul he made to get sent off, surely that was the exact kind of foul that Stoke City were replicating throughout the whole course of the game. It was a reoccurring theme, so pulling players to the ground, shown exactly through Charlie Adam right towards the end of the game when he pulled Alexis Sanchez to the floor. if Callum James is going to get sent off, get 2 yellow cards for doing a foul that's not even as bad as Adams, why didn't Adams get sent off? The officiating was absolutely horrific today, but I don't want to lay into that too much because it still doesn't excuse the shambles of our first half performance. The second goal we conceded through Bohan in the 35th minute, should I say, was, I don't know how that occurred. The way that, I think it was a cross from Walters, I believe, and then it just floated into, he shouldn't have had the time to get the cross in. I think that's where Gibbs was at error yet again, at fault, shall I say, and the ball came in. Bohan just cuts through our defence like butter, got in between the 2 centre halves so easily. That's where I think Mertesacker was quite easily at fault, puts it into the back of the net, 2-0, pretty much game over. If it wasn't game over then it would be when Walters put their goal in towards the end of the second half. Shocking stuff with this one. I mean, how he was allowed to get into that position to fire the ball into the roof of the net, and that is Stoke's first goal from a set piece all season. That speaks absolute volumes. How easy Arsenal are to predict. I mean, I sent out 2 tweets in this game. If you don't follow me on Twitter, at @simplycookie_, and I said that Walters would score in this game, and I said it was probably worth having a punt on them to score their first set piece of the season. That's how easy we are to predict, how easy things can go wrong for us. And yeah, we can't live up to the physicality of Stoke because we haven't got players that are maybe not of the stature that their players are, but you still would expect a lot better from us. And at 3-0 down, going into that second half, nothing to lose because we had nothing to play for. The game was already over. I mean, even though we clawed 2 goals back, the game was still over. We did show a lot of fight. We showed a lot of character to try and get back into that game. But the fact of the matter is, we conceded 3 goals in that first half, which we shouldn't have done. We allowed ourselves to get into that situation. So no excuses whatsoever. It was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful from Arsenal today. And although we got the penalty, Flamini being with a tangle of legs, I think it was Diouf, and the penalty was converted nicely by Santi Cazorla, his first goal of the season. Good to see that, but I can't really bring any positives out to this game. Apart from the Ramsey goal, it was good to see him get on the score sheet again at the Britannia, but that's irrelevant. Him scoring at the Britannia is absolutely irrelevant because he got us absolutely nowhere in the game. And we were pushing for that final, in that final 10, 15, 20 minutes, no end product, and a lot of, still, all this. Sometimes I just wish that we would play a long ball at times, especially when we're in a situation where we're having to get bodies in the box and we're still tippy-toeing around the 6-yard box. It's awful around a penalty area, should I say. I mean, that's what we constantly do, a reoccurring thing of Arsenal, and Stoke can defend against that so easily with the players that they've got in their backline, the likes of Nzonzi, Ryan Shawcross. They find that easy to defend against, and we were found out today to the absolute maximum, and after 3 positive results it's come crashing down on us again, and this is a consistent reoccurring thing with Arsenal, that we can't build up any momentum and consistency within the team. Where does this leave us in the league table? Well, Chelsea lost today. We're still miles off them. Even if we'd have won today, the title was still gone. We're fighting for 4th now. United play Southampton on Monday. They could win that, and then we'd be even further behind 4th spot. I mean, we should be fortunate that Liverpool and Spurs have drawn today, because otherwise we really would be in a diabolical situation. If we're not ready, because we are quite frankly in a diabolical situation. What else can we hope for this season? A decent cup run in the FA Cup? That's kind of all we can hope for. Okay, yeah, we can go somewhere in the Champions League, but can a side that is conceding 3 against Stoke City, a team that has Jonathan Walters and Phil Bardsley in it, can that side go and beat Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or Barcelona to win the Champions League? No, it can't. It honestly can't. And even signings in January, if we make the right signings, I don't know how much they're going to benefit us, because all we can really do this season is get top 4 and have a decent FA Cup run, hope to retain the FA Cup, which I still think will be incredibly difficult for us. So, frankly, this season it's becoming a bit of a drag, to be honest. I do feel sorry for players like Alexis Sanchez who give their all in every single game for us. It must be incredibly strenuous and tiring for him when he's constantly being let down by his colleagues, and you just can't help but wonder what is going through his mind at times in the game. Honestly, what must be going through his mind when he's giving his all for the team and just players are around him, when he's just looking at someone like Cazorla playing the ball out for a throw-in, and it's, yeah, I can't ramble on about this much more. It's too much of a painful result to talk about, but, you know, all I can hope for is that we'll bounce back, and that's what I'm saying after every defeat that we endure, and I'm saying it a lot now, and we've got to really build up some momentum. We've got to put things right, and things have to change. Obviously, things have to change. Arsene Wenger has to change his tactics, has to change the style of play, he has to change a lot of things within the club, and maybe it is time for him to go. I mean, I could completely understand and comprehend why people would want him to go. I think getting rid of him now would be absolutely ludicrous. But where we stand at the end of the season, we've really got to assess where we stand there. And we've got to be looking at where we are now, because so many seasons we've had poor starts and then we've rectified it in the second half of the season and we've made it look okay, where we've papered over a load of cracks. But that can't continue to happen if we're actually going to strive on and have proper ambitions at a club like Arsenal that we should be having. Because at the moment we're not. We're doing exactly what we've done in the 2011-12 season, the 2012-13 season. It's shocking. It really is shocking. But you know, all I can hope for is the best. We go into a very busy period now. We've got Galatasaray next in midweek in the Champions League. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts on Arsenal's 3-2 defeat to Stoke City this weekend. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like rating, subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, check out my own channel, AFC Game by Game, and as always, thank you for watching guys.